July 12, 2026. The 139th Wimbledon Championships. Centre Court, the most iconic tennis venue on the planet. 74 seats in the royal box. And walking toward those seats, Prince William, Princess Catherine, Prince George, and Princess Charlotte. The moment the crowd saw them coming, they did something Centre Court crowds almost never do for anyone except the players. They stood up, every single one of them. And in that standing ovation, in that single unrehearsed moment of pure public affection, you could see everything this family has been through, everything they have survived, and everything they are becoming. This is not just a story about a tennis tournament. This is a story about a woman who sat in that same royal box 2 years ago while privately fighting cancer, and came back. About a father who has spent years quietly preparing his children for exactly this kind of moment. About a 12-year-old boy who first walked into Wimbledon at age 9 and now looks, standing in a black suit beside his father, like someone who already understands the weight of what he will one day carry. And about an 11-year-old girl who sat in that royal box with the kind of composure that makes grown adults stop and stare. This is the Wales family at Wimbledon 2026. And it was extraordinary. Let us start where this story really begins, not in 2026, but in July 2024. Catherine, Princess of Wales, had announced in March of that year that she was undergoing chemotherapy after a cancer diagnosis discovered following abdominal surgery in January. The details were kept private. The treatment was intense. And yet, on July 14, 2024, she walked into Wimbledon Centre Court for the men's singles final. She brought Princess Charlotte with her. And when the crowd saw her, when they understood what it had taken for her to be there, they rose to their feet and gave her a standing ovation that moved the entire nation to tears. She presented the trophy that day to Carlos Alcaraz. She smiled. She waved. She did her duty. And then she went back to treatment. That appearance, quiet, brave, completely characteristic of who Catherine is, became one of the defining royal moments of 2024. Then in January 2025, she announced the words the world had been waiting for. She was in remission. Cancer gone. And as she slowly returned to public life, she said something in a hospital visit in July 2025 that stayed with everyone who heard it. You put on a sort of brave face, stoicism, through treatment. Treatment's done. Then it's like, I can crack on, get back to normal. But actually the phase afterwards is really, really difficult. That honesty, that willingness to say out loud what most people hide, is exactly what has made Catherine one of the most trusted and beloved public figures in Britain. Fast forward to July 2026, Wimbledon again. And this time, everything is different. Catherine arrived not as someone bravely showing up through illness. She arrived fully recovered, fully present, and fully herself. According to confirmed reporting from E! Online and ABC News, she wore a stunning green dress with a drapey over-the-shoulder detail, taupe heels, and a matching handbag. She looked, as royal watchers noted immediately, radiant. Not brave, not determined, radiant. There is a difference, and the crowd felt it immediately. Beside her walked Prince William, 44, in a gray suit with a blue button-down shirt. Behind them, Prince George, 12, in a sharp black suit with a striped tie, looking increasingly like a young version of his father. And Princess Charlotte, 11, in a sensible blue dress with white flats, calm, composed, and completely at ease in one of the world's most scrutinized sporting venues. The standing ovation they received confirmed what the public already knew. This family had been through something, and they had come through it together. And Wimbledon, that most British of institutions, was going to make sure they knew exactly how the country felt about that. Now let us talk about what Catherine actually does at Wimbledon, because this is not a casual family outing. This is a working royal fulfilling one of the most beloved roles in her calendar. Catherine has been patron of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club since 2016. That patronage comes with real ceremonial duties, specifically presenting the trophies to both the men's and women's singles champions at the conclusion of the championships. It is one of the most watched trophy presentations in global sport. Billions of people around the world see those moments. And Catherine has presided over them year after year with the grace and warmth that has made her one of the most popular royal patrons in modern history. In 2026, she did it twice. On July 11th, the ladies' singles final, she presented the Venus Rosewater Dish to champion Linda Noskova. Then on July 12th, the men's singles final, she returned to Centre Court to present the trophy to Jannik Sinner after his victory over Alexander Zverev in what was one of the most anticipated men's finals in recent Wimbledon history. 2 days, 2 finals, 2 trophy presentations. And through it all, carrying herself with the kind of effortless authority that only comes from years of genuine commitment to a role. But the story of Wimbledon 2026 is not only Catherine's story. It belongs equally to George and Charlotte. And understanding what their presence at Centre Court actually means requires going back a few years. Prince George made his Wimbledon debut at the men's singles final in 2022, just before his 9th birthday. He sat in the royal box beside his parents and watched with the focused attention of a child who understood, even then, that he was somewhere important. That debut marked the beginning of what has now become a royal family tradition. The Wales children being brought into the national moments their parents inhabit, not as decoration, but as participants in something they are being genuinely prepared for. Charlotte has now attended Wimbledon multiple times. At age 11, she is, as royal watchers consistently note, one of the most naturally composed young royals anyone can remember. Longtime royal photographer Chris Jackson told Page 6 that she has great poise. A palace insider told People magazine that she is a natural who has taken to royal events like a duck to water. And at Wimbledon 2026, sitting in the royal box at Centre Court watching Jannik Sinner and Alexander Zverev battle for the title, she demonstrated exactly why those words keep being used about her. Their little brother Lewis, now 8, has still not made his Wimbledon debut, though People magazine notes his time is coming. The royal box holds just 74 seats and exceptions are made for royal children. Lewis's turn at Centre Court is, by all accounts, being waited for with considerable anticipation. Royal biographer Robert Jobson has observed that William and Catherine have been unusually deliberate about how they bring their children into public life, not throwing them into the spotlight, but introducing them gradually and consistently to the national moments that will define their lives. Wimbledon is a perfect example of that approach. Not a state funeral, not a formal state occasion, but a beloved British sporting institution where the atmosphere is warm, the crowds are passionate, and the children can be genuinely present without the weight of pure ceremony. Catherine herself revealed something in January 2026 that added another layer to the Wimbledon moment. Speaking with the England women's rugby team at Windsor Castle, she casually mentioned that Charlotte plays rugby at home with the family, and that George has gotten so strong she no longer wants to get tackled by him. That glimpse of ordinary, chaotic family life, sporty, competitive, completely real, is exactly the foundation William and Catherine are building their children's public lives on. Genuine passion first, royal duty second. There is one more thread in this Wimbledon story that deserves to be named. Because this was not just a family appearing at a tennis tournament. This was a very public declaration that the chapter that began with Catherine's cancer diagnosis in March 2024 is genuinely, completely, triumphantly over. Think about the arc: March 2024, cancer diagnosis announced. July 2024, brave appearance at Wimbledon men's final during active treatment, standing ovation that moved a nation. January 2025, remission announced. And then July 2026, back at Wimbledon. Both finals, whole family, green dress, standing ovation, trophy in hand, children in tow. Royal expert and biographer Ingrid Seward previously told People magazine they are happy for people to see them be touchy-feely. William is very protective and very proud of her for coming through this and carrying on with her life. At Wimbledon 2026, that protectiveness and that pride were visible in every moment. In the way William walked beside her, in the way George and Charlotte flanked their parents, in the way the whole family moved through Centre Court, like people who know exactly who they are and exactly where they belong. The 2026 Wimbledon Championships ended on July 12th with Jannik Sinner lifting the men's singles trophy, presented to him by Princess Catherine, patron of the All England Club, surrounded by her family and a Centre Court crowd that had just given them one of the warmest receptions in the tournament's 139-year history. George watched, Charlotte watched, William watched, and somewhere in that watching, in those two children sitting in the royal box absorbing what their mother does and how she does it, the monarchy's next chapter was quietly being written. Lewis is still waiting for his debut. His time is coming. And for George and Charlotte, Wimbledon 2026 was not just a tennis final. It was another lesson, another moment, another proof that service is not a burden. It is a privilege, and their parents, who have carried more than most families ever will, have shown them exactly what that privilege looks like when it is honored with grace, consistency, and love.